Hey everybody, this is Isaiah and welcome back to Magic System Monday. And today I want to talk about RWBY. Hold on a minute, why is this place unguarded? Do you know how expensive dust is? That's probably the most important thing in the RWBY world. The most expensive too, by far. Everything runs off of it. And yet there's no guards, let alone their security mechs. We don't see any of those in this scene either. Tell me, does the store clerk have a gun at least? An emergency button or something? Hey now, this girl's upper body strength is impressive. She has enough strength to lift her entire body over her scythe, spin around on it, kick a guy in the chest and send him flying and twirl around some more after that. This girl's core is obviously jacked. Let's see if the series remains consistent with this fact. Oh, spoilers, it doesn't.
What?
Now, as you all may now know, the girl has a built-in sniper rifle inside of her scythe handle. And one of her typical strategies in combat is to use the recoils from this rifle to knock herself in the opposite direction. She proceeds to do this for the rest of the series, but this time is different. This time, for some reason or another, the recoil is able to send her weapon sideways, and she uses that momentum to power a twirl. This makes absolutely no sense, and as a matter of fact, in the scene directly following this one, she proceeds to use the recoil to knock herself backwards instead of sideways. And no, before anyone says anything, this is not me nitpicking. If you fire a gun, it knocks you backwards, alright? It's not gonna knock you, 90 degrees to the left. That's not how it works. You don't rotate. Now, all of the complaining aside, I do actually like the idea of her using her momentum from the gun to knock herself around. This is actually a strategy that I use in my own writing. This almost sounds like something that I myself would have created. And for that reason alone, it gets a thumbs up from me. Very creative. At least when she's doing it right.
End of the line, Red!
So from this scene here, we can sort of discern that dust is activated through either some kind of raw force or ignition. Simple yet effective. It not only adds potential for dust to be used quickly and effectively in a given situation, but also a chance for it to backfire in the right circumstances. Alright, Glinda's giving me a headache here. So as you all know, in RWBY, everybody has this thing called a semblance, where almost everyone, you have to awaken it. And a semblance is basically an ability you have. You have one power, alright? You might be able to use it flexibly, but you have one power. Unless your name is Weiss Schnee, apparently. Glinda's is telekinesis. Now look me in the eye, look at this scene and tell me whether or not you think this is telekinesis. This woman is straight up using magic. She's shooting magic missiles. This girl is whipping out a magic circle. What is this supposed to be? This highlights a classic issue that you're going to see in the first few seasons, where people have their ability or whatever, and then people are doing things outside of that, as if the writer intended for people's semblances or auras to be able to do something else, and just never fully fleshed it out. This woman proceeds to pull out storm clouds and a volley of ice. Are you serious? This is straight up magic. Hold it, I know this spell. This is a first level spell from D&D, and if you're paying attention, it's about as effective as you would expect.
Light work, no reaction.
Now some people might try to argue with me and say, Isaiah, what if she's using dust? There's elemental dust, right? Yeah, okay, where's the dust? I don't see it. They could do a lot to prove that she's using dust in these circumstances, but seeing as they haven't done it, I'm not going to go out of my way to write the story for them. Now this is something I always thought was really cool. Pay close attention to Cinder's power here. At first glance, it seems as though she's shooting fire. But if you pay attention, she's actually not just shooting fire. She's shooting flaming constructs. It almost comes off as some kind of broken glass. And it's very versatile. Not only can she actually use fire-based attacks with it as a result, but she can also make actual solid objects that are also flaming. It's a really neat design. And I'm also gonna ignore the fact that it seems to be in her clothes too. Probably just a design choice. They want to look cool. Alright guys, it's time for speculation. Now as you see here, Cinder uses this area of effect ability to get rid of the charge that Glinda's using to bombard her airplane. Now I don't really know what this is. At first glance, I thought she was using some attack, but after looking at it for a second, it's most likely the fact that she's just turning off her own ability. Since those are technically her constructs, she's probably just negating them. But then again, if that's the case, you gotta wonder why she didn't just do that initially, back when Glinda first started pelting her with those things. Instead, she opted to shoot them down. I really do wonder if the writers know what they just unleashed upon the world. Notice this character here is actually manifesting attacks at a distance, not just shooting projectiles, but she can literally manifest explosives directly under people. Now, of course, everyone dodges because of the plot, but still, you have to realize just how powerful this type of ability actually is. And that's ignoring the fact that she shoots them off in a volley. Now, what bothers me in this scene is we know for a fact they have no issues with their willingness to destroy that plane, because we saw them attacking it. Why is it they're so focused on fighting the person inside the plane as opposed to just shooting the thing down? Again, I wouldn't advise doing that, but we clearly know they have no qualms with it already because they were already doing it.
You have silver eyes.
I choose to ignore the particulars of how silver eyes work. There, you're welcome. You'd know we'd be here all day if I actually bothered to talk about this.